So, in our first session, we talked about the purpose of Say It Straight, and that's it's designed to make our yes real and our no real. Okay? So, as we go throughout these various communications, we learn about the disempowering communications versus empowering communications. This training is really going to reinforce that. So I would like to introduce our first communication by asking a question. Have you ever found yourself in a difficult situation where your deepest wish was to say no, but you said yes instead? Can I see a show of hands? Great. So we call this communication placating. And as we just explore this placating, people-pleasing communication, let yourself be aware of how you look, how you sound, and how you feel as you take care of yourself in this way. Because all of these communications are an attempt that we make to take care of ourselves. So I invite everyone to turn your attention to our placating poster, where I need a volunteer to read the first half of that poster.
I placate when I count you and your needs, but I don't count myself and my needs. I say yes even when I want to say no. I give a lot of excuses. I believe that I do nothing right. I betray my deepest yearnings.
So once again, this is a way that we attempt to take care of ourselves. And something that you'll notice that I'll often resort back to is the I, you, it pie chart. So in regards to placating, when we communicate in this disempowering way, we don't count ourselves, but instead we focus on what the other person wants and the issue at hand. So to help us experience such a situation where we deeply want to say no, but instead we say yes, I invite you all to join me in the following body sculpture. So everyone wants to stand up. And once again, as you take care of yourself in this way, and as you put yourself in this body posture, let yourself be aware of how you look, how you sound, and how you feel. So placating sculpture, it begins by being on one knee. You can just sit down and enjoy. So when you're sitting down or when you're in this kneeling posture, it puts the other person above yourself. The next part of the sculpture is one hand is going to be over your heart, because when we placate, we're sincere. And the other hand is going to be above you, almost as if you're asking for a handout. And as you're in this sculpture, I invite you to turn your attention inward. So maybe by closing your eyes. And in your mind's eye, envision a time when you placated to someone. And imagine them standing in front of you. And imagine saying to them, I will do anything, just let me be your friend. Imagine saying to them, without your approval, I am nothing. Imagine saying, I will do anything, just let me please you. Imagine saying, without your friendship, I am nothing. Or you can say whatever it was that you actually said in that situation. And as you're saying these things, let yourself be aware of your breathing. Let yourself be aware of any sensations you may be experiencing. Let yourself be aware of your feelings. How's your self-esteem? Do you feel competent? Do you feel connected to your inner resources? How is your personal power? Do you feel trustworthy? How do you feel towards the person with whom you're placating to? Are you experiencing pain anywhere? Slowly let that scene fade. And I invite you to stand up with me. This time, once again, turn your attention inward. In your mind's eye, envision someone placating to you. In your mind's eye, imagine being on the receiving end of this placating body sculpture and communication. As you become aware that the person in front of you is attempting to take care of themselves by placating, do you trust this person? Do you respect this person? Slowly let that scene fade. And slowly open your eyes. I invite you all to have a seat. So as we put ourselves in that placating body sculpture, and you envision in your mind's eye placating to someone else, how's your breathing?
I was upset when I was looking past it, probably because I was thinking of something totally different, but you know. Fast moving children.
What kind of sensations were you experiencing by being in that placating sculpture? Pain? In your knee?
The helplessness.
Helplessness? Felt weak?
I lost a sense of myself.
Felt like they had no control.
Get
They were just giving it all.
What were some of your feelings as you became aware that you were attempting to take care of yourself in this placating way? What were some of the feelings you were experiencing? And a helpful resource throughout the training can be our How Do You Feel poster, which gives some ideas, some suggestions, some potential feelings.
I felt defeated as I gave someone else more power over myself.
Disappointed.
I was going to say powerless.
How was your self-esteem and self-worth? Did you feel confident? Did you feel connected to your inner resources? inner strength. Did you feel trustworthy? How was it being on the receiving end of that communication? You envision someone being in a placating sculpture and placating to you.
Uncomfortable.
Overpowering. I didn't want that, like, pretty much uncomfortable. I didn't want that kind of power over somebody.
I felt bad. I wanted them to stand up, so I put them in a position where I could help them be self-sufficient.
Did you feel excited about life when you're on the receiving end of that communication? So as we explore these communications, you may have the realization, hey, I do this behavior a lot. Hey, I placate a lot. And the challenge there is to honor it. So within each of these disempowering communications, there are what's called nuggets of gold, where if we can connect to our inner resources and connect with our courage, we can transform these disempowering relationships, and these disempowering communications into more empowering communications. The challenge is to transform the lead into nuggets of gold. I now invite you to turn back to our placating sculpture, or excuse me, our placating poster, where I need a volunteer to read the Discovering the Nuggets of Gold.
I can transform placating into empowering behavior when I have the courage to honor myself in you. I can apologize for my actions, not for my existence. I can negotiate and compromise. I can be kind without being weak. I can help others without making myself a martyr. I can be myself and be a leader for positive change.
Thank you. So once again, if you're having that realization that you placate a lot or at all, honor it. The challenge is to connect to our inner resources and courage to utilize this communication in the appropriate manner. So far in the session, we've talked a lot about some of the feelings that we experienced, both when we are placating ourselves, as well as being on the receiving end of this placating communication. And if it feels disempowering, or if it feels uncomfortable, what are some reasons why we placate and communicate in this way?
It's just people pleasing. It's easier. It's lazy.
Could be out of fear. Low self-esteem. Could be how we were taught.
What are some other reasons? Why do we attempt to take care of ourselves in this placating, people-pleasing way?
You might not feel like you're giving it your all, the less you are like really giving everything before yourself.
Conforming, buying into what you may perceive as cool or the social norm, so you lose your identity, maybe go in with what the group is.
So what are some advantages and disadvantages to communicating in this placating way? What are some advantages?
Of being on the bottom, is that what we're talking about? Okay. Advantages.
Making someone else happy,
Yeah.
helping someone else out more.
Avoiding conflict.
It's easier, like you said.
What are some disadvantages to communicating in this placating, people-pleasing way?
You don't get to give your opinion, you don't get to express what you're really thinking.
I feel like you can lose yourself.
Now I invite you to turn back to your workbook. Once again, I encourage everyone in the group today to treat this not just as handouts, something that needs to be finished, but instead let yourself treat it like a journal. Let yourself really embrace it in that regards. So in the previous session, we discussed the placating communication. And I invite everyone to turn your attention to our placating poster, where you can see the I-U-IT pie chart. I think this is a great way to kind of organize what this communication means, and that when we placate or when we people please, we don't count out ourselves and what we want, but instead we just focus on the other person and their wants and the issue. So I would like to introduce the next communication by asking a question. Have you ever found yourself in a difficult situation where your deepest wish was to say no, and you said no while respecting the other person and the issue? So we call that communication say it straight. And as we further explore this say it straight communication, let yourself be aware of how you look, how you sound, and how you feel as you take care of yourself in this way. Because once again, these communications are all an attempt that we make to take care of ourselves when we find ourselves in difficult situations. I invite everyone to turn your attention to our Say It Straight poster, where I need a volunteer to read the first half of the poster.
Saying it straight. I say it straight when I count myself, I count you, and I count our issues. I state my decisions without excuses. I stand up for myself and respect your rights. I count my feelings and your feelings. I express my thoughts and my feelings honestly.
So once again, as we further explore this communication by completing body sculptures and our movies, which we'll begin in this session, let yourself be aware of how you look, how you sound, and how you feel. So to help us better experience this communication, I invite you to join me in making the following body sculpture. So the Say It Straight sculpture begins by being in a comfortable, relaxed sculpture. You have good posture, chest can be out, just a relaxed kind of position of the body. Once you're in that comfortable state where you can really feel the earth keeping your feet, you can just kind of turn your attention inward by closing your eyes. And in your mind's eye, envision a time where you were saying it straight to another person. And imagine that person being in front of you. And in your mind's eye, as you interact with this person, let yourself become aware that you can say yes if that fits your deepest wish. Let yourself become aware that you can say no if that fits your deepest wish. Let yourself become aware that you can choose for yourself. Let yourself become aware that you can honor your deepest wish. And in your mind's eye, as this interaction unfolds, let yourself be aware of your breathing. Let yourself be aware of any sensations you may be experiencing. How do you feel as you become aware that you're taking care of yourself in this say it straight communication? And that you're honoring yourself, the other person, and the issue. Let yourself be aware of your self-esteem and your self-worth. Do you feel competent? Do you feel connected to your inner resources? How is your personal power? Do you feel trustworthy? How do you feel towards the person with whom you're saying it straight to? And slowly let that scene fade. And once again, turn your attention inward. And in your mind's eye, envision a person saying it straight to you. as you become aware that this person in front of you is taking care of themselves in a say it straight way, do you trust this person? Do you respect this person? How does being on the receiving end of the say it straight communication compare to being on the receiving end of the placating communication? Slowly let that scene fade. Slowly open your eyes. And I invite everyone to have a seat. So, as we put ourselves in that say it straight communication body sculpture, and in our mind's eye we envision communicating to someone via that say it straight communication, how was your breathing?
Relaxed.
Relaxed.
Deeper, slower.
So mine was deeper, slower as well, until I told the person what it is that I wanted to say. I felt like it was calm.
What kind of sensations were you experiencing?
Comfort and peace.
Were you experiencing pain anywhere? How was your self-esteem?
I think I was standing in that for my integrity, what I've really done, and freely open to express myself.
Feel a lot more confident.
More confident? Do you feel connected to your inner resources and your inner strength?
I feel like you can feel a lot more free also when you say straight.
Did you feel trustworthy? How did communicating in this say it straight way compare to when we communicated in that placating way?
I felt more like an equal.
So you thought of yourself more as an equal.
You feel a lot more in control because you're actually saying what you want to say instead of going against what you really feel.
So you think you're more in control.
I think I'm respected more in the other person's eyes.
How did you feel communicating in that say it straight way?
Confident.
Confident? does.
Trustworthy.
I think it depends on the situation a lot also. Like, if it's someone you really, really feel for and have a lot of feelings for, and you're saying straight to them about something that's obviously going to be real tough for them, that can be hard. But if it's like more of a, you kind of standing up for yourself and doing what you really want, then it's a more happy and good feeling.
Saying it straight can be tough. Be really challenging, definitely. How was it being on the receiving end of that say it straight communication? Where in our mind's eye we envisioned someone saying it straight to us.
It can be humbling sometimes. Opens your eyes.
Did you trust that person more? Because they were being honest and transparent with you by saying it straight?
I was proud.
Proud.
Two different viewpoints. So for one, as a supervisor, that's what you empower your employees and your people that you're working with, is for them to feel comfortable when they come to you and speak their mind clearly. The other is, you also empower them to do what's best for them in the situation. So to see that they were doing those things, I was proud.
I agree with them on the proud thing. Working with the kids at the club, I always tell them, if you really feel a certain way, come out and tell me. I'd rather you do that than just knock or like push it to the side or whatever. And when I have certain, especially the teens, when they actually come out and tell me how it is, sometimes it isn't what I want to hear, but it is a proud feeling when you see them open up and say how they really feel, even if I'm not going to like it. So it's a good feeling.
Did you respect that person more when you envisioned?
Definitely.
It feels good knowing that the other person trusts you enough to open up to you and let you know how they really feel. Like you said, it might not be what you want to hear, but at least they feel that way. Like with my position, that's kind of my goal, is to get them to open up and not feel numb or uncomfortable, that they can share what's really going on.
Definitely in my position, it makes me feel like I'm actually doing my job, doing a good job if they're actually opening up. And because when I first started, they had nothing to say, they're quiet, or they're just not too open. So that means you're growing on them and they're starting to feel comfortable, so you're making a very good environment for them to come to. So that's always good.
Like there's a comfort zone between the two of you.
So, as it is with all these communications that we'll explore throughout the training, there's this goal to each one. So I now invite everyone to once again turn your attention back to our Say It Straight poster, where I need a volunteer to read the Discovering the Goal portion.
I can be helpful and kind without placating. I can apologize without placating or being passive-aggressive. I can disagree without blaming or bullying. I can be powerful without being destructive. I can give information without sounding like a computer. I can take a break when I need to. I can be myself and be a leader for a positive change.
So, what are some reasons why we would communicate in this Say It Straight way?
I feel like you're not really going to get anything done if you're not saying it straight to somebody. Especially if you're trying to help someone out. If you're being around the bush about something, what are they really going to work on or learn from if you're not telling them what's really the issue?
If they wanted your opinion, if they wanted you to sound like a computer, they could freaking Google it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think, you know, they're looking for somebody's honest, you know, opinion and suggestions or ideas, so whatever the situation may be.
You could probably do more damage also if you don't say it straight. Because obviously that person's coming to you for a reason. So if you give them an answer and they can tell that it's not really a genuine and straight to the point answer, then they're going to lose that trust with you and probably even ruin it for them or building trust with someone else in the future. So it can cause a lot more damage.
So now we're at the point in the training where we get to make our first movie. So these movies and role plays, you can think of it just like as a movie that you go and see in the theater or that you see on TV, and that the people who are participating as an actor or an actress are doing just that. They're playing a role within a scenario. But as an actor or an actress, allow yourself to feel your own feelings. So don't just say what you think you should say when I ask a question, or report feeling how you think you should feel. Instead, allow your own feelings to bubble up and just really connect with those feelings. So, as the movie, we're going to have two actors. One of the actors or actresses will be pressuring the other actor or actress in a situation where the one of the actors wants to say no, but instead attempts to take care of themselves in a placating way. Okay? So I need two volunteers. Okay, first off, because we are actors and actresses in a movie, we need stage names. So who'd you like to be?
Oh my goodness.
You can make up a name.
Marilyn.
Marilyn. Tim, who would you like to be? Marilyn?
John.
John.
I should have went with Jane.
Probably.
You want to be Jane?
John Doe and Jane Doe.
And my role throughout these movies are going to be the director. So I'm going to be there to kind of coach along, as well as kind of dissect the situation so that we can learn more from it. So my stage name will be, I'll be Kirby. Okay, so my actors and actresses. What is a situation where your deepest desire was to say no, but you said yes instead?
Well, we're remodeling my house, and my wife wants things a certain way, and I want them different, but I said yes anyway.
Good man, smart.
I think that's a good example, so we can explore that. So how about in this example, we have John and Marilyn, who are a happy wedded couple. Okay, so it's time for some procedures to be done on the house. Maybe Marilyn sees the kitchen being done a certain way, and John has some opinions himself. So John, instead of saying it straight to Marilyn, communicates in a placating way. So just to make sure we're all on the same page as far as what this placating behavior means, let's turn our attention back to the poster. I need a volunteer just to read that first half for us.
I count you and your needs, but I don't count myself and my needs. I say yes even when I want to say no. I give a lot of excuses. I believe that I do nothing right. I betray my deepest yearnings.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, this can kind of be the staging area because I want to make sure everyone can see. So Marilyn, just make sure we're all on the same page. Marilyn has some ideas about remodeling the kitchen. John has some ideas himself, but John, instead of saying it straight to Marilyn, communicates in a placating way. Okay?
You want this realistic, or you want it just placating?
Right now you're just
I could probably play the good role of the wife, because I want a nice, perfect kitchen too.
Right now you're just placating.
Okay.
All right? Action.
I'll try to pull that off.
Okay, let me, honey, I have this perfect vision of our beautiful dream kitchen, stainless steel appliances and dark deep cherry wood cabinets and wood flooring and of course, a center island, so with a huge dining area attached.
Okay, that sounds great.
I know it does, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it sure does, yeah. So when do you want to do this?
Start this weekend.
Oh, okay, sure.
You're going to be available to start gutting the place
definitely,
out,
yeah.
right? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and even know people that we can go ahead and we're going to hire some handymen and some construction people and...
Okay.
Okay, now John, remember, you're giving excuses. So you don't want to do what Marilyn is suggesting. Instead, you have your own idea. You want to remember the bachelor pad that you used to have. You have your own ideas for the kitchen. So Marilyn, gives some of her ideas. You try and give some excuses as to why her idea wouldn't work, as a way for you to try and,
I thought I was saying yes.
You do. But you want to placate in the sense that you want to give some excuses first, because your deepest wish is to not do what Marilyn does.
So you want more realistic.
A little more realistic, sure.
Okay.
All right, let's do it again. Action.
John, I have some wonderful ideas for our new kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, stainless steel, appliances, everything stainless steel.
That's a good idea.
Microwave over the, oven and range. Hardwood floors, definitely. We have to have a center island.
Okay, what kind of island?
One that seats, you can have the stools around as well. Oh no, let's go with the flat top stove. The glass top stove.
In the island?
Yeah.
Do you think we have room for that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I'm not sure of that, but we can sure see if we can make it fit.
Yeah.
Cut. Okay. So, John attempted to take care of himself by giving excuses, saying, "Hey, maybe this oven won't fit. We want it in the island." So, John, how do you feel as you become aware that your deepest wish, your deepest desire, was to say no to Marilyn, but instead of saying no, you placated her?
Well, it feels like you don't have a choice, like you're making a decision that's already been made.
So you think you're don't have a choice.
Right.
How do you feel? And remember, you can use our feelings board. Do you feel glad, bad, scared, friendly? Do you feel confused?
Frustrated. That's a good word. Sometimes, like, your opinion doesn't matter, so that would be, I don't know, hopeless in a way.
So you think that your opinion doesn't matter, so you feel hopeless. Sure. So, Marilyn, were you aware that John did not want to go with your kitchen?
Most definitely.
Okay. So, can you comment on the issue of respect that you have for your husband, John, given that he didn't want to design the kitchen a certain way, but you kept pressuring him to do so?
Because I know his love for me and I know that he would do anything to make me happy.
Mm-hmm. So, John, how do you feel as you become aware that Marilyn knew you didn't want to do the kitchen a certain way, but pressured you into doing it anyway?
Normal. I'm not sure.
Do you feel maybe disappointed, miserable, frustrated, hurt, hopeless?
I guess a little resentful, but not horribly because I made that choice. don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you feel maybe, do you trust Marilyn more now as you become aware that she knew you didn't want to decorate the kitchen a certain way, but kind of pressured you into doing it anyway?
I don't think it changed anything. I was making the choice to not be in conflict, so, and I was okay with that.
So Marilyn, how do you feel as you become aware that John is sacrificing himself to please you? He's placating himself to please you.
I feel loved. I feel a little overpowerful, I guess. Like, I knew that he would follow along. He always does.
Okay. Now, as the observers to the movie, you have an important role too. So you need to be noticing nonverbal, verbal cues, things that kind of took place that maybe we don't get to. What kind of things did you pick up on by watching this interaction unfold?
He was really excited about the kitchen, and he wasn't. He didn't care.
She was excited and he didn't care.
His nonverbal said no.
His nonverbal said no. So what makes you think that? What did you notice?
I said, well, I don't want to do this. I knew that one.
Okay, so John's nonverbal said no. Alright, so let's try the scene again. So this time, instead of John placating to Marilyn by saying, yes, we can do the island, yes, the oven can go there, yes, wood floors, John is going to say it straight. Right? So let's invite everyone to turn your attention back to our posters, where I need a volunteer to read that first half of the poster for us.
I say it straight when I count myself, I count you, I count our issues. I state my decisions without excuses. I stand up for myself and respect your rights. I count my feelings and your feelings. I express my thoughts and feelings honestly.
So, in this particular example, John is really excited about his own kitchen ideas. All right, so he's been planning. He's gonna surprise it for you. Okay, but then Marilyn comes, and everything that she wants is essentially the opposite of what John wants. So instead of John simply placating, maybe giving a couple excuses as to why something may not work, John is going to connect to his inner resources, and he's going to address the issue. He's going to respect his wife Marilyn, and he's going to respect himself by saying it straight. Okay? And once again, the observers, let yourself be aware of kind of the nonverbal, verbal cues, as well as anything else that you may notice. Action.
I'm starting. Okay. Honey, I think we're going to remodel the kitchen. I have some really great ideas.
Okay. Me too.
Okay, good. Good. Well, I was thinking we would just paint the cabinets and probably new appliances. You can pick. Really, I don't care about those too much, whatever color. And I thought we'd put in an island, but a small one because we really don't have a whole lot of room. And probably tile floors.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, can I add some of my thoughts and
Well, sure.
visions on top of that?
Sure.
I love the idea that you're letting me pick out the appliances. And painting the cabinets I can deal with. I was hoping for some nice real wood ones, but painting you can do it. I want wood floors though. And
Okay.
you're right, you are right about the island. We'll have to go small.
Well, wood floors would be okay if we can do that reasonably, but we have to stay within a budget because we only have so much money.
Okay, let's go. Let's go shop and pick them out.
All right.
Cut. Okay. John, how do you feel as you become aware that you were honest and transparent with your wife, Marilyn, and that you said it straight to her?
Well, I feel good because we'll come to a conclusion that works for both of us.
So, Marilyn, how do you feel as you become aware that your husband, John, took care of himself by saying it straight to you?
I'm glad that he stood up for himself and I'm glad that he stood up for himself and made himself a part of this whole thing instead of, you know, just being okay with letting me do the whole thing, and now it's both of us together.
So, John, how do you feel as you hear that Marilyn is excited about this joint project and not just you letting her do everything?
Yeah, well, I'm happy about it. More excited about it. About getting it done.
Okay, so Marilyn, how do you feel as you hear John's excitement and his attitude towards
Happy.
this project?
Happy. Yeah, ready to start this project.
Okay.
Let's get her done.
It's almost done.
Okay, so the observers, what did you notice in this interaction?
Marilyn didn't seem really too happy when he said his ideas that she did not like at all, or went against what she said. But when he said, "Oh, you can just pick the appliances," she was like, "Oh yeah, okay, we're good now, because I can get more of my ideas out there."
I think it was more of a real conversation that generally happens between people where one party listens to argue, and that's how she was at first until he gave her the option of, hey, this is what I'm going to let you have free reign over, and then that's where she's more open to the ideas.
So, the actors and actresses, Marilyn and John, do you feel like this kind of communication where you're saying it straight to one another, do you feel like this would deepen your relationship with one another?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Great. All right, let's do one more scene. And this time, the roles are going to be reversed.
I hope this pays really well.
So, John has some exciting ideas about the kitchen. Marilyn, instead of just placating and letting John do whatever he wants to do, you're going to connect to your inner resources. You're going to say it straight to John. So the same situation, except your roles are reversed. Okay?
Sorry, you're going to have to do that again.
So John, so Marilyn, instead of placating to you, she's going to say it straight to you. So in this particular example, you have some exciting ideas about the kitchen that are very different from Marilyn's. And Marilyn, instead of her just placating and agreeing with you just because that's what she wants, she is going to say it straight to you in a respectful way.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Action.
Hi, honey. I was thinking we could remodel the kitchen, and got some really good ideas, I think, about doing that. I was thinking we could just leave the cabinets the way they are, maybe change the hardware or something, and maybe we could paint the appliances. And I don't know. I'm thinking vinyl floors. What do you think?
I think that we could afford your dream better than mine. I don't know what to say to that. I'm sorry. I think that we can afford more, actually. I think we could do more than just, if we're going to do something, let's do something with the kitchen.
Well, what would you like to do?
Let's replace the cabinets and new appliances, and painting's good.
Okay.
I can deal with the vinyl. We gotta look, you know, good though.
Okay.
Okay, cut. All right. So let's try it one more time, but we're going to mix it up a little bit. Okay. So this time, John is all but set in terms of getting all of his plans ready to go. Marilyn, you did a great job coming to a compromise. You both did. All right. Let's do one more time, just as a way to get some extra practice. Okay. So John, you are coming with all your plans, just like as you did before. And Marilyn, even though you don't agree with his plans, instead of just placating and going along with it, you're going to say it straight. Okay? So you're going to acknowledge both your own feelings you're going to acknowledge his feelings and ideas, and you're going to acknowledge the issue.
Okay. That's kind of what I just did.
You did, and it was great. I want to do it one more time now.
Okay.
All right, action.
Okay, honey, I was thinking we could remodel the kitchen.
Sounds
And
great.
I got some ideas about how to go about that. Is that okay?
I'm here.
All right. Well, I'm thinking we can just kind of leave the cabinets the way they are and change out the hardware maybe, and put in some new vinyl floor, and I don't know what to do with the appliances, but what do you think?
I think that maybe if we're going to do some change, let's do some change. Let's, replace some cabinets and get some new appliances. And
Do you think we can afford to do that?
sure, if we stick to a budget, don't go over a budget, you should buy things cheap. Or,
Okay, so you think we can agree on a budget?
so, so I get my new cabinets and appliances and you get your floor and paint.
Cut. All right, so let's talk about this interaction. All right, so John did a great job. Both of them did a great job. And let's kind of identify where Marilyn set it straight. Right. So John kind of tossed her some opportunities as far as we're going to go outside the budget. Marilyn said, well, we can agree on a budget. Right. So they were very transparent and honest with each other, which is a characteristic of that say it straight communication. So Marilyn, how do you feel as you become aware that you said it straight to John, that you were honest with John?
It made me feel good to get what I really wanted out there, as well as to let him have a couple of his own ideas in there.
So John, how did you feel as your wife Marilyn was honest and transparent with you and communicated to you in that say it straight way?
Well, at first a little scared because I wasn't sure what she was going to come up with. I guess maybe a little disappointed that she didn't like my idea.
Sure.
In a way.
It wasn't good enough, was it? I made you feel like your idea wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
See, now I feel guilty.
John, do you feel that you can trust Marilyn?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Do you feel that you respect Marilyn,
Mhm.
even though she kind of disagreed with you about some stuff?
Yep. Sure.
Marilyn, do you feel that you can trust John, even though he has some different ideas than what you have? Do you feel that you can respect John, even though you disagree? And once again, do you feel like this kind of communication would deepen your relationship as a couple?
Oh, sure.
All right. Observers, what were some of the things that you noticed?
Well, it seemed like both of them by the end of it were overall okay with the situation of going forward with redoing the kitchen. They might not have agreed on everything, but they came to a middle ground because they both were being, saying it straight to each other. So it become a better project for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice when we were talking about some of the reasons as well as the advantages, disadvantages in placating. Someone said that we do it to people please, to avoid conflict. Even John, he said that at first he was a little afraid of what his wife would say when he was saying it straight to her instead of placating. But the end result is that both parties seem happy. Let's give a round of applause to our actors. And you can take off, John, if you want to take off your name and say who you are.
Tim.
Tim. Marilyn, if you want to take off your name tag and say who you are.
Christina.
Christina. And I am Matt. And you can all join back with me as a group. To mention that as we go throughout these movies and role plays, I encourage you to let yourself take away from the movies what's useful and then leave behind what's not. And also, as an observer, there may be times where yourself feels physically or emotionally invested in the movie. So if that was you, or if that seems like you, you can silently, take off your name tag and say who you are as well before we process as a group. So we've talked a lot about the say it straight communication so far. What are some advantages, disadvantages to communicating this way?
The advantages would be allowing yourself to express your true feelings and stand up for yourself. Disadvantages might be that the other person might not agree. You might get shot down.
Opportunity to compromise.
The disadvantage of people's feelings can get hurt when you're saying it straight to somebody, so it's not always happy for people to get feelings hurt.
What are some other advantages and disadvantages to communicating in the say it straight way?
I think the outcome's better. Because you usually end up with a better decision.
Versus the placating communication?
I feel like a lot of respect can be gained by saying it straight.
Okay. So I now invite you to turn back to your workbook.